Elon Musk spectacularly confirms Department of Education no longer exists. Guys, make sure you stick around at the end of the video. We're going to have a pretty lengthy conversation, most likely. But either way, this is a suggestion via Discord.
Elon Musk has spectacularly confirmed that the Department of Education no longer exists.
It appears that Elon Musk, Vice President Elon Musk, I guess, I don't know, he's got some role, some official role, thinks that the Department of Education is already dead. In response to Congressman Maxwell Frost's post about the DOE, he said, quote, "No such department exists in the federal government."
Musk's move comes after Donald Trump slammed the department, saying he will move responsibilities back to the states.
Okay. And I will shut down the federal Department of Education, and we will move everything back to the states where it belongs and where they can individualize education and do it with the love for their children.
Okay. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong here. I like the idea that the states would definitely be able to have a little bit more control over the state's curriculum. But there are some places that the level of education is already absolutely horrendous, though. All right. I mean, just keep that in mind, guys. But let's continue. And that's with federal subsidies.
And mere hours after Trump ordered Elon Musk to look into the department, action was taken.
I don't know if it's kickbacks or what's going on, but the people, look, I ran on this, and the people want me to find it. And I've had a great help with Elon Musk, who's been terrific.
Bottom line, you say you trust him.
Trust Elon? Oh, he's not gaining anything. In fact, I wonder how he can devote the time to it. He's so into it. But I told him do that. Then I'm going to tell him very soon, like maybe in 24 hours, to go check the Department of Education. He's going to find the same thing. Then I'm going to go to the military. Let's check the military. We're going to find billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud and abuse. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the people elected me on that.
But Democrats...
Yeah, guys, you're definitely going to find a lot of that in the military, to the point where, think about it, a common typical kitchen chair has screws, right? Those screws cost $35,000.
Lawmakers were not happy, trying to force their way into the department despite it being locked.
Give it a tug there.
Guys, what do you want to bet that this is their first time ever coming here? What do you want to bet?
We're members of Congress.
Never been here during their life. And they brought all the cameras with them too. Interesting.
Thank you.
We're members of Congress. We're members of Congress.
We're coming in. Don't lock the door. We're coming in. Who are you?
You're not coming in.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you, sir?
Do you have business here? Yes.
I sent the Assistant Secretary a letter alerting her that we would be here today, and we've asked her for a meeting.
Yeah, I don't know that that's been accepted, so until that's accepted. It doesn't need to be accepted.
Who are you?
What authority do you have?
And what do you do here?
What do you do here?
This Fox News host slammed the stunt, calling it theater.
Well, first of all, when do you think the last time that these members of Congress were at the Department of Education? That's the first question I have. And now all of a sudden, for political theater, they need to go there and demand to get in. And I love when Maxine Waters says, lift up your face, hold your face up so we can see you. Look them in the eye, tell us your name, give us that ID again. From a woman in a party who don't believe you need an ID to vote in this country.
When questioned about the closure, Elon Musk simply replied, no such department exists in the federal government. Trump blasted the incompetence of the department, citing America's low education ranking on the world stage.
Exactly. And that's my overall concern here. When you start, because we're not competitive. Like, we're not competitive at all in terms of education. We're not even in the top 10. Like, there are so many other places that we would go to and perceive ourselves to be in a very impoverished country whose education standards are much, much higher than ours. Now, how much of that is due to the overall federal curriculum? I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out, over the next year or two. We'll figure that out immediately. There are also a lot of states who just do not want to be inundated with the left's overall, dogma. Let's say, the stuff that they're basically consistently pushing on TikTok.
The Department of Education. What did you think when you saw Democratic lawmakers trying to get into the Department of Education earlier today?
Oh, I see the same ones. I see Maxine Waters, a lowlife. I see, all these people. They don't love our country. They don't love our country. We want great education. So they rank 40 countries in education. We're ranked dead last. But the good news is we're number one in one category. You know what that is? Cost per pupil. We spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. You look at Norway, Denmark, Sweden, various countries all up and down, Finland. China does very well in education. And then you look at us. We spend much more money than they do per pupil or any other way. But we spend much more money than they do, and yet we're ranked this year, Biden's last year, congratulations, Joe, we're ranked dead last. So what I want to see is education. Number one, I like choice. We all like choice. But beyond choice, long beyond choice, I want to see it go back to the states where great states that do so well have no debt. They're operated brilliantly. They'll be as good as Norway or Denmark or Sweden or any of the other highly ranked countries. They'll be, you probably have 35 to 38 states will be right at the top. And the rest will come along. They'll have to come along competitively. And by the way, we'll be spending a lot less money. And we'll have great education.
Online commentators applauded the decision, with this person saying, "The US Department of Education has officially been dissolved. Congratulations to every parent across America. You now have the power of your child's education back in your hands." And even progressive commentators like Bill Maher are endorsing the decision.
Public is aware of the mismanagement, the improper payments.
What about the Department of Education? Now, I don't know that much about it, but I've never read good things. Yeah. Rahm Emanuel, who I agree with on almost everything, here was a quote. He said, "A third of 8th graders can't read, and now he wants to close the department." And I thought, that's probably why they can't read.
Exactly.
Or at least partly. I mean,
no child left behind.
The numbers keep getting worse and worse and worse. And I don't know if the Department of Education is anything but, it doesn't really, I don't know what it does. Except take money. It's sort of a middleman. It doesn't run classrooms or do stuff like that. I don't think it makes policy. So where are you on something like that?
I think that the Department of Education has to essentially be closed. A lot of the authorities got to get sent back to the states. The dollars we appropriate actually need to go directly into the hands of parents.
Guys, I am someone who absolutely and just completely fixated with education and enriching myself. My kids are absolute intelligent individuals, guys. But whenever I see them bring anything home, for example, from school, what do I see? Nonsense. Bro, why are you teaching? For example, my son is in, my youngest son is in kindergarten, all right? And they're teaching him that subtraction type of thing because he's in a gifted kindergarten type of thing. But even in the gifted part of things, I'm like, listen, why are you teaching him this when he already understands the atomic numbers of the periodic tables, the elements on the periodic tables? Right now, we're working on transitional metals. This is just something that I teach specifically in my household. My daughter is about to be 14, and she can quote all types of crazy things, guys. So I just want you to know how deep, how wrong education has been, right? Because every time we have any type of conversations about what happened in school, what did you learn today? It's always things that I've already taught my son, and he's in gifted kindergarten. Okay, I'm getting ready to be moved up to most likely 3rd or 4th grade from kindergarten. And this is just what I'm trying to point out here. The federal government has completely mismanaged funds continuously here. What I see here is that there are going to definitely be people that are going to be affected negatively by this being closed. And it's generally going to be the poorest of us. There are some states that I want to point out here, Mississippi, Alabama specifically, they are going to suffer. If you give education and curriculum specifically to these places, that already have some of the worst scores in America. And if we are last, imagine what that means. Okay. Not trying to be disrespectful here, but it's a little insane how backwards some of the education systems, already are. So we need to figure that out immediately, because we cannot have multiple swaths of people as we're literally deporting people at a rate that we're, if everything comes to fruition, we will be deporting millions of people yearly, if that, by the standards that are being currently set by Trump, right? And Tom Homan. So if that happens, we'll be deporting some very educated people. And the reason why I'm going to point this out is because, guys, if we're last, think about this here. There are places where education is basically free. And a lot of the people that are coming from these places, if we were, as Americans, coming from like the first world, were to go to their countries, we would think that these countries are impoverished. But for some reason, they're churning out people that are 50 times smarter than the average American, guys. That's the reality. These other countries are beating us right now because we're not intelligent. And I'm saying per capita. I can go ahead and put myself in the bunch because I'd rather look at this as a collective thing, guys. We are, in fact, losing in everything, on every chart except for military spending. Military spending, bro, okay? We're losing on everything. We are not what we were. And a lot of it could come down to the Department of Education pushing narratives and social programs that are completely irrelevant. Look at China. They don't allow none of that nonsense over in China, bro. None of it is done. If it has no benefit to the actual country, we're not teaching it. You're not going to go ahead and sit here and talk about the nonsense in school for what? Bro, they're churning out engineers, physicists, okay, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? We're churning out gender study majors. Basically, we're number one in how many people have gender study degrees. Okay, it's a little silly now. All right, we need something that's actually going to benefit, and we are completely backwards. And if the federal government is consistently pushing it due to the social justice warriors in Washington, bro, why do you think we're in the position we're in, right? And like, so for example, I think Elon Musk basically pointed out a couple of things referring to the H-1B visa. We need that, guys. I get it. That may not be super popular currently to the majority of people who really don't know the depths of it, but they may hear about it on what channel is it? Sky News or Fox News, for example. They'll hear about the H-1B visa and be like, "But we don't want any of these." No, bro, we need them. Okay, this is certain highly educated engineer, tech guy from somewhere, from some other country other than the United States of America, because we don't have them, guys. And this is most likely the reason why the Department of Education is most likely being closed, because they realize it. If the base of people who voted for Trump are going to be the ones who are going to go against the concept of the H-1B visa that Elon Musk, along with Vivek, are basically backing pretty heavily. I was backing it before I knew they were backing it. Guys, all right? I just want you to know how much sense that makes. We do not have it. We are not intelligent per capita. We are absolutely, compared to the rest of the world, we have a problem. Okay, so what we need is the next generation of kids to come up and study things that actually can push our country forward, move away from all the social, oh, my feelings hurt because you insulted me nonsense. Let's just build the country. Okay, please, we need to rebuild it, get rid of all the bloat, okay, and let's just rebuild. Educate people to the point where we actually can be number one in something again, because I don't see it, bro. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying. I'm looking hard. I just don't see it. We have to do the H-1B visa. We need to do something, even if it's like a lottery, or we set up some type of program in some type of university in another country where they're actually educating their kids correctly, right? That may work until we can actually stop the nonsense and force each individual state to actually push the proper stuff, right? I knew when they started putting like drag queens in schools that this was going to happen. That was a couple of years ago. I knew it. Like when they were doing like in the libraries and things like that, I knew immediately. Once you started Like once the teachers basically started confusing kids, being like, "Hey, what are you?" I knew this was coming. Of course, this was going to come, bro. Not everyone wants to hear all of that, and they shouldn't be forced to. This is a niche subgroup in America, right? Like this is not what it is. How is this benefiting the country? What way? It makes people feel better? That's not enough. We're losing, bro. All right, we can save all of that for later. Sure, I'm fine with it. Listen, I have no problem with someone being whatever they want to be. Please do that, but understand it's not important. Okay, like who you are is not important. I don't understand. Like I don't walk around telling people I'm a man, bro. That doesn't matter. It's what I have the ability to output. That's what matters, guys. All right. We need to do better for the United States of America. We are not number one. We will not be number one for a very long time. And if we go through the process of deporting the amount of people we're looking to deport, then we're going to lose the actual people that are doing a lot of the things based off of certain visas. Okay, so that's a thing, right? So we need to, in fact, educate the population to the point where we can handle it. But guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.
The fact that you just made it to the end of the video says a whole lot, actually. We have a couple other channels. MrLboyd Music, MrLboyd Movie Reacts, along with MrLboyd Discusses, where I just generally speak about the things that specifically matter to me. But in the meantime, I'll catch you guys later.